All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this coLcast presentation. I'm your casting host, Beef. With me once again, we do have Sender. We're bringing you continued coverage of Dreamhack Summer 2013. The group stage is continuing, and we've got Complexity Gaming taking on the Vietnamese Dream Team. What should be an epic match. Sender, how you feeling?
Feeling pretty good, Beef. This is gonna be a good match. We got vdT, who've had some recent successes recently, and then one of the titans of Han. You got Complexity, consistently been the top 3 team in the last year or so, and already into this drafting phase. A Complexity didn't blind ban the Empath. I wonder if, well, actually vdT did not decide to lock him up, which is kind of surprising considering that supports like best hero.
Yeah, absolutely, but they have broadcast that hero very, very much so. So instead going to force them to ban it in the banning phase here. And with the number of pocket heroes that vdT has, using a ban on the Empath there really does open up heroes like the Swiftblade that you love to see. Scout still has to be banned out as well. And already they had to use a blind ban on the Monkey King. So MK Rally being banned by Complexity left some strong junglers on the board, notably that Tempest, which did make it into that lock pool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, well, you can't really ban Predator, Scout, Swiftblade, and Empath. Complexity's going to have to choose their poison. Which one do they want to let vdT get?
Yeah, and like you said, choose their poison because something is going to get through. And vdT they've shown that they can play all the standard heroes pretty well, but they've just got those niche heroes. Each one of these players has something that they can just play that is not a common hero, whether you're talking about Zibby on a chipper, whether you're talking about Pee-wee on something like that, Swiftblade or the Monkey King, support on the Empath, Zergo playing an incredible Magnus and Pharaoh. I mean, definitely looking forward to seeing what happens here. But Complexity, they're no slouches either. They have a very, very well-rounded hero repertoire on their side.
Well, actually, I just want to get back to that Rally blind ban. Complexity have had a lot of issues against Rally recently, and also it kind of slipped me at first, but I forget Zergo is probably one of the best Rally players in the competitive scene right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Zergo, definitely very strong. From back in your days with DMSN, right? He was playing with you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we used to pick him a lot of Rally in DMSN.
Absolutely. Before you did migrate on over to the Internet Gangsters. Hell, you were even with Afraid there for a little while at the end of Han Tour, so...
Yeah, we had some decent success there for only like a little bit of time.
Yeah, definitely looking strong in the last couple cycles of Han Tour, and then, of course, in the SBHL as well.
So, back to the game, it looks like Complexity are not choosing to do the respect bans. They're just banning heroes that they don't want to play against, as in the Fade, the Deadwood. They're going to maybe let the Predator slip. That'd be a little scary. Empath Predator, if vdT can get a hold of that.
Yeah, and speaking of not respect bans, Scout, Swiftblade, Empath still available. There's the final ban on Moon Queen, so vdT is just going to get the run of whatever the hell they want from these first 3 picks.
I would have to expect Predator Empath, like no doubt in my mind right now.
Yeah.
Maybe not like as a first pick, but that's what I think they'll gun for.
No, absolutely not for the first pick. Well, could go for the Predator first pick, but that's going to allow Complexity a lot of wiggle room to try to set up to counter that, especially with Engineer in the lock pool available. I don't know. And, of course, with B-Kid loving to play Pandemonium right now. So Scout first pick. Not really broadcasting too much other than, well, there's going to be a Scout on your team, probably in that Suicide lane.
Well, I mean, it could be short lane Scout, it could be Suicide lane Scout. That actually does leave some versatility. Maybe you don't want a Scout in another hard carry, but, you don't, like, you can just play Scout as this anti-carry who's a disruptive hero, messes with the jungler, tries to set up some kills. He doesn't have to be free farming to be effective in the game.
No, absolutely not, and definitely love seeing this. Now, I will say that when we've seen vdT run the Scout before, it was Fabelli playing it. We've also seen Pee-wee play it in a different capacity, but I have to assume Zibby knows how to play this hero and can play it pretty well, but Fabelli had a mastery of this hero up on the lines of Keizu, Moonmeander, your real top-tier Suicide players, so we're going to have to see how Zibby runs it. Complexity, though, they're going to have their first 2 picks available. Witch Slayer, Warby's coming out, so we saw this in scrims this week Witchslayer versus Scout matchup in the short lane versus Suicide Scout. This is something Complexity has become very, very comfortable with. They've actually been running Moon Meander as their short lane solo.
Yeah, I mean the Witchslayer matchup's pretty good. What Scout is a hero that like really relies on his mana to be effective. You know, that's the whole point of the hero. You gotta have mana for your Vanish to harass the lane, you know, and to set up kills. And if you can eliminate the mana, you're kind of eliminating Scout's early game impact that you kind of want from him.
Yeah, won't be able to do nearly as much in that lane. Going to be vulnerable and not able to put out the harass or get CS. So a great lineup there so far. Trial Fedor going to be running the Suicide Warbeast most likely. This is something else that Complexity has practiced quite a bit. There's Empath Meraxes. This is a favorite combination of VDT, putting those two in the middle lane. Zergo plays an incredible Meraxes, another one of his signature heroes, and of course supports favorite, the signature Empath. That's going to be an incredibly strong middle line. How do you think Complexity can approach that?
Okay, so they're probably going to get Engineer out of the lock pool. So there's what now they have to choose. How do they want to handle this lane? They could do like an Engineer Flux, but that kind of doesn't really fit with their lineup. So, you know, honestly, I'd kind of maybe expect a Gauntlet here. Like, Gauntlet's still underpicked, but it's still really good. You could also go with Panda. Panda NG is a pretty strong kill lane. I mean, it's Complexity. I'd probably expect the Panda pick. Maybe Gauntlet.
Yeah, no Magnus available. Hammerstorm is still there. I know B-Kid loves that hero, but
you know the thing is they also might want some more lockdown with the Warbeast. Okay, they go with the Panda. It is lockdown if he can get BKB or Shrunken Head, but they still have the Scout Eye, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a short lane Scout. Zibby is not like he'll play the Suicide Scout, but it's not like his best hero. You know, if he would prefer to be playing like a Bubbles or something along those lines in the long lane.
Yeah, so short lane Scout perhaps. Parasite going to be picked up, and it would make sense to finish off this team with an Engineer. Although Master of Arms is a possibility, I think they'll probably end up running the NG. Do you agree?
Alright, they go with MOA.
Wow.
I mean, okay, you do a minus armor. Like, the minus armor with the Warbeast and the Panda's pretty good, you know, the physical damage. And the blue buff is good when you're running, carry. When you have a carry, you know, you just, when they enter the fight, you just blue buff them, they do a lot more damage.
And I think this might have actually been almost to deny that Master of Arms to VDT as well, considering they could have finished off with a Master of Arms right there and then run the Suicide Scout with a Master of Arms short lane. That arguably could have been a little bit stronger. So trying to deny it. And in the end, Engineer goes unpicked. Both these teams finish up. And we're getting into our third match right here.
Let's get it on.
Complexity versus VDT. A best of one in the Dreamhack Summer 2013 group stages. Complexity currently 1-0. And I believe this is going to be the first match of the day for VDT, and
yeah, it is.
Honcast gonna open up in the in-game client there for me. So guys, we did have a remake here, as you can see. Support was unable to reconnect to that game, but we'll be getting invites back into this momentarily. There we go. Turn that schedule off real quick, but actually taking a look at that schedule once again. Yes, this is the first match of the day for VDT. You were correct in that, Sender. I should just trust you.
I mean, I'm all-knowing. Come on.
You are pretty
But, you know, back to the drafting phase. So, I'm a little concerned for VDT because their only, late-game physical damage hero is, a Scout, and he probably won't have the best start, to be honest. He's going to be in a very hard lane. Unless Zippy makes some amazing plays, he's not going to be that farmed early on.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see how this one does shake out. Right now, just getting invites back into this game. And going to get this one started here as soon as possible, hopefully. But that Warbeast matchup versus the short lane Scout, that's what you were thinking. And you think Scout's going to have a pretty hard time in that one?
No. It's gonna be no. Okay, so at least when I saw the heroes last, they might change him up, but it was Zibby on Scout, so that means he's gonna be in the off lane, and they're gonna have Bubble short lane versus Warbeast.
Oh, okay. So Pee Wee's gonna play the Bubbles short lane.
Yeah, I mean they could just switch it up. You know, they were gonna remake, so there's always mind games involved, so they could put a Scout short lane. So you know,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that Scout short lane, Scout, you know, he's gonna have a really hard time against Witchslayer in that long lane. Bubbles is gonna have a lot easier of a time against that mana drain harass with just being able to take cover to break that. And Bubbles, Scout versus the Warbeast in the short lane. Scout, if you stack him regen, he should be able to do pretty well against that Warbeast, I would think. I don't know.
especially with the Parasite in the jungle. You know, I'd like to see the Scout in the short lane. You know, he's the only physical damage the team will have and they need him to have a good start, I feel. And even if he is in the long lane, usually you play the hero a little bit differently. You don't go like Rune Cleaver, you go more of a ganking build. You don't farm as much, and they need to contend in the late game for sure. They don't have a lineup where they can just win the game by like 15 minutes by pushing and etc.
Absolutely. So right now, of course, just trying to get this one started back in, waiting for one more caster here, the Southeast Asian caster, reconnecting. And, of course, big shout out to all the other casters that are going on, guys. We got worldwide coverage of Dreamhack Summer 2013. Of course, coLcast and Honcast providing your primary English streams. You got Team Stay Green doing the Skype casts of the Stay Green games. You've, of course, got the Southeast Asian casters. You've got the Thai stream going on specifically from Garena. And, of course, you even have the casters coming in from the Russian CIS region. So, very, very cool to have all these different coverages. Make sure to check it all out. And, of course, head over to gosugamers.net/Han for all the up-to-the-minute coverage, courtesy of Fantasy and Gosu Gamers. But, Sender, looks like we're going to go ahead and get this game started as soon as support ready's up. Come on, support. You got this. I believe in you.
He wanted to make the viewers wait. Wait, why isn't the game starting? I'm stuck at 0-1.
What? Really?
I don't know, it's just probably a bug, I guess.
I don't even see support readied up yet.
He's not ready. No, it's just on my screen. It says 0-1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Some kind of a small bug. Well, we are going to wait for support here as we are going to continue the countdown. The suspense is building. And we'll see if Complexity Gaming is going to be able to extend their group stage lead up to 2-0. Or if VDT comes out of the gate swinging and they're able to take their first game here. Support does choose to ready up. Zippy still hasn't readied, though, either. Come on. These guys.
Come on, guys. Just start the game. You're giving Beef a heart attack.
They are giving me a heart attack, Sender. I just want to cast. There we go.
Right.
5, 4, 3.
Let's get it on.
Hey, some more granola bars, Sender.
You're just gonna have to order some pizza, man.
It's 3 in the morning, Sender. I don't think I can order pizza. All right, guys. We are into this game now. As oh no, the things are backwards there. Hold on. That should have been switched up. Okay. Give me 5 seconds here to go ahead and fix those. Save. Oh, right, there we go. But right now, we do already see 5 players from the Legion team heading into this bottom jungle. They really want to defend this.
Yeah, they don't want to let Warbeast get off the ward, or if he does get off the ward, they at least want to see where it gets off so they can counter it, and then Empath can get the lane control back.
Yeah, and that's definitely what they want. Warbeast does get the ward off. They did not see where it was, so if they want to drop a Ward of Revelation, then they're going to have to just kind of guess. This is a pretty common spot from Tralfamador, though.
Yeah, I saw some games and he's been doing it quite frequently. But the thing that matters is he's still going to get the pull, and eventually they'll get lane control back. And what matters is what level does Tralf get by the time they get lane control back. I think when Warbeast hits like level 3 or 4, then he can start doing Ancients. But, you know, if they can get the lane control and zone him out beforehand, then they'll be in a good position to where Tralf really won't be able to do Ancients, yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be a crucial matchup here in the bottom lane where Scout has made it into the short lane. Support's even going to be there hanging out, so they're going to allow Meraxis to be solo in the middle lane for at least probably the first minute or two of this game while Empath tries to do the support thing. Well,
you see, If they want like Empath just to be down here for the first couple minutes, I kind of disagree with this decision because you're not really going to do anything because the creep wave will be at Warbeast's tower. But if he wants to be down here for the full duration, use the pulls, definitely try to keep the Warbeast down. You know that's a fine decision. But otherwise, I'd prefer to see him just middle.
Yeah, so we'll see what decision they do make. Empath is trying to run down these Warbeast Hellhounds in the bottom lane, and she does have a wall available if she wants to dump that skill point, which support almost always will go for level 1 wall. And with a well-placed wall here, I think he could actually kill these Hellhounds with the assistance of the creeps. Probably going to wait until they get in range of the tower. And so if he does get the kill on those, the experience, and these creeps don't get dragged too far back, this could actually be a pretty big win for the Legion team.
Well, what depends also is Trelf like gonna try to send the dogs to his tower, or is he just gonna kite them back and forth? Because if he kites them back and forth, then Scout can just do that with the creeps too, and then he's not really gonna be achieving anything. But he really needs to drag the creep wave to the tower, but he also has to go through a pathway where it won't get like a good empath wall. So it's gonna. This is actually gonna be quite important early stage like event that occurs.
Yeah, it is. But right now, just kind of hanging out in the pause as this is VDT's first game. Of course, give them a minute here to make sure that all their settings are correct. And it really does. When you get into that first game after changing computers or resetting your settings, everything like that, there's so many different things that can go wrong. You're like, okay, I thought I fixed everything twice now, and there's still something that's wrong.
I mean, also, I'm pretty sure every person on their team is like, this is their first LAN, and they don't, like, after a couple of games of LAN, you start realizing things you should do after every game. Like, you should just reset all your settings or have a CFG file. And there's just a lot of tiny things that you don't start to think about till, you start seeing these things that you can improve upon.
Yeah, definitely worth noting here, the LAN experience for VDT. That, like you said, I believe this is everybody's first LAN, maybe with the exception of Zibby. But even him,
it's Zibby's first LAN.
It is his first LAN as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely going up against some of the most experienced LAN players in the world. This is number 3 as a player and once as a caster here for Tralfmador Peter Pan Dam. I believe this is his 3rd or 4th. B-Kid.
This is his 4th.
Yeah. B-Kid's 4th or 5th Dreamhack.
3rd.
What?
No, 4th.
3rd or 4th?
No, it's his 4th, actually.
Okay,
B-Kid's 4th.
There we go. Riser, this is going to be his 2nd event after just finishing up with the Han Tour Grand Finals. And then, of course, Moon Meander, I believe his 3rd Dreamhack as well. So, definitely a well-seasoned team here on Complexity Gaming, taking on the young upstarts of VDT, but that is going to do it for the pause. Now, look at Tralfmador actually splitting these wolves up. He didn't necessarily do that super hot. The experience is donated to the empath. And
he's sending more wolves down, but right now he hasn't really achieved anything.
Yeah, he's going to try to drag the 2nd wave, and support is not going to be aware of the 2nd wave, but Hellhounds go around the back. They're going to wait for the next. Well, no, they're just going to dive right through the tower. Tralfmador just really trying to find anything at this point, but wasn't quite able to. Good deny.
Well, since Pewee messed up a little bit and sent the creeps into the tower, it doesn't really matter. He didn't need the new dogs. So yeah, this is going to push. I mean, honestly, right now, Empath should just go middle or pull. One or the other. And I think he's going to pull since he stacked. Or he's not going to pull this one, but he's going to stack it again.
Oh,
he's going to pull. Alright. He's probably going to pull this, get like level 2.5, and then head middle. Anyways.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually just going to attack this down and try to get the CS, get the levels, and then head mid, like you said. So not going to try to hard deny that wave, knowing that it's already going to push. Might as well just add a little bit more of a push anyway, since you're not already losing lane control. Top lane, remember how I said Bubbles was going to do all right because he had take cover to break mana drains? Well, he didn't get take cover.
I don't know about that one.
That is an extremely questionable decision in my opinion. Zibby going the early silence, and he's going to lose all of his mana. This is going to be a massive, massive detriment up here. Even if he gets it at level 3, he's already lost all of his mana.
I mean, maybe his thinking is, I just need the level 2 take cover.
Bottom lane, the Essence Link is there after a beautiful wall. Glacial Blast coming in. Is that level 2 Glacial Blast? It is, and Troubadour will go down. All set up with a gorgeous wall coming out of support into the beautiful Essence Link, broken at the perfect time, and very well played by vdT to secure that Bloodlust kill.
Yeah, you can't really expect anything less of support on Empath. But, I mean, maybe Zibby thinks he'll do well enough in this lane, and then he'll just go back to base, regen, and then come back and maybe have a window to kill the Witch Slayer. But, I don't know. I mean, Zibby has to have a plan. Like, he has to think he's capable of pulling it off. At least that's in my mind.
Well, right now, he's actually just flown out health and mana potions. And, I don't know, kind of interesting. Zibby definitely a player that normally does extremely well in one-on-one situations. A smart and skilled player. Doing something different here, that's for sure. And even flying more regen to himself.
CS-wise, he's not that far behind. It's just he has no mana to work with, which is going to hurt him.
Well, he has no mana, and he's also spent all of his money on regen. He's completely
Anyways,
broke.
support is kind of jungling with Tempest a little bit, but now he's heading to the middle lane. Maybe they want to get a kill.
Oh, they definitely do. They want Peter Pan Dam. Axe not going to connect for the first one. Gorgeous wall coming out. The Essence Link is there, and the Glacial Blasts are enough to finish off Peter Pan Dam.
You know, that's the thing to note about this VDT team. They really like to roam on their junglers. They'll sacrifice the farm for the kills. And you know what you need to do is you need to have a lane ward middle, and you need to play a little bit more reserved in your long lane and not die in those lanes. Because if you cannot die, VDT will be wasting a lot of time. And that's just something I've learned from watching some of their games.
Yeah, they're an extremely aggressive team. Empath grabs a haste rune, is going to head up top. Has a wall here in about 10 or 12 seconds. Moonmeander is going to have to fall back. And this is giving Zibby the space that he needs to actually catch up. So managing to pick up a few of those kills. Support is hanging out here. Wall in 5 seconds. Parasite's heading over though. And if Riser gets a good position, this could be a disaster. But Ward of Sight spots him out. And immediately we see Empath and Bubbles take a step back. Riser's coming over. He's got a mana burn.
Yeah, man, they want the kill, though. Like, he had vision of that.
Middle lane, though. Miraxis likely going to go down. No! Bad body block there from B-Kid. And Peter Pan Dam was not able to get off the final auto attack. B-Kid getting tangled up on creeps. Unfortunately, just some bad positioning there. And Miraxis lives. Top lane Bubbles is out of mana here after a nice Graveyard Stun into mana drain. Zibby went for the boots, so no bottle going to be coming out anytime soon. He's probably going to have to be going to town in a sec.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a really good time to be going back to base. So you push the creep wave into the tower. So then by the time he's back in base, he can probably TP top, and there'll be like a double wave pushing into his tower. So he should be fine, to be honest.
Yeah. Gonna take
Alright, never mind. It's gonna stay there. I lied.
Oh no.
Anyways.
Taking a look at this middle lane, Zergo currently sitting at 164 gold per minute.
We have Riser coming middle.
Yeah, he's low on farm, unfortunately. Gonna try to bottle up top. Riser is gonna spot him out though. Bottom lane, Warbeast in massive amounts of trouble as Scout is gonna throw in the auto attacks. Warbeast gonna get hit by the Glacial Blast. Mana Ring even gonna be activated, but Troubadour will go down. Nice timing by Pee-wee to actually get that Electric Eye down. And they capitalized by catching Troubadour with no vision.
Yeah, you know, that was a really good job by Pee-wee. If he didn't counter ward that kill probably would have never happened.
Absolutely. So, good job, good job. Miraxis did grab the invis up top. Managed to survive against the Parasite there. Support is going to look for a kill. He's going to actually wait for Troubadour to get back into this lane. And then they're going to try to pick him off for a third time on this push. And this is a very real possibility, but Master of Arms just walked by a ward.
Yes, he did. But no, that's his ward.
No, there's double wards.
Oh, they both have a ward. Okay. Yeah.
Empath immediately used 3 Blightstones to cut into some trees. They're going to turn this into a double tap. The wall is used immediately. The Essence Link on the Master of Arms. Scout going to go for the kill, and it does go down. Metamorphosis activated here as Warbeast wants a kill of his own. Elemental Void is available from Fiend Sensation, but doesn't have the mana for it. Top lane, Zibby goes down to Parasite and Witch Slayer, though, so 1-for-1 trade, but a tower for complexity. Or for VDT, excuse me.
Yeah. So VDT coming out a little bit on top. You know, they got the tower kill, but they did lose their more important hero versus where Complexity only lost the MOA.
Yeah, that bubble's definitely important, and did use the kelp field, so it's not even as if he can just TP back from town into a lane and immediately go for a kill. Use that big 80-second cooldown, and we'll now have to try to find some farm up top once more, but Parasite just picks up some Ghost Marchers, and level 7 Parasite will put a pretty serious hurting on Bubbles if he comes into range.
Moon's in the middle lane. I don't really know what he's trying to accomplish here. Like, you have a solo Meraxis who can't really lane, so you're trying to gank a hero that's not really laning. It just seems like a big waste of time.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something, but wasn't quite able to secure it. Meraxis will bottle up the refreshment rune bottom, as a haste is pretty much not claimed by anybody.
I think Peter's about to pick it up. Yeah.
Well, Bubbles is actually going to jack it, so Moon was there about 1 second before that spawn, but didn't want to pick it up, instead leaving it for Peter, and instead Bubbles grabs it. They have the kelp field as well. TP is coming in here, but canceled. That was going to be from Parasite, I have to assume. Yes. Interesting, interesting. Pandemonium is likely going to go down here. Yes, Matrix detonation brings him down. So VN Sensation coming out of the woods, 2-0-3, set up for all 5 hero kills so far in this game. And that's a big kill onto the Pandemonium that was at 380 gold per minute.
Yeah, VN Sensation just doing work. He's killed both mid and the short lane multiple times. And as a result, he's at 400 GPM. He's just going to go back to the jungle, keep farming. No need to push the tower yet. Maybe in a few minutes they'll look to get another kill into the mid tower push, though.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for VDT
and
on 9 minutes in here. Having a good time in the laning phase. Witch putting pressure up top as well. And Pandemonium back to farming mid, but Peter Pan Dam only level 4 right now on this Master of Arms. He's suffering pretty hard. Even the roaming empath is doing quite a bit better in terms of levels.
I mean, he doesn't really need to be middle right now. They have a lane ward. You know, he could just go to the pole. I mean, right now it's blocked, but in theory you could just, you know, counter ward that, then start stacking and pulling, get his own levels up. Get to level 6.
Top lane scout has arrived. Ghost Marchers plus a sustainer. So he's going to be able to stay invis for quite a while. Top river, there's a big engagement going on. Pandemonium will go for the cannonball. Support is going to get flurried down. The acid bomb is there with the negative armor. Pandemonium going to be trying to get away though, but Scout shows up. The Quake Stun going to be able to bring down Pandemonium. Axes 1 and 2 going to connect on the Master of Arms, which they're looking for a big Graveyard Stun. Graveyard Silver Bullet onto Scout. The Hex and the auto attacks finish him off. Metamorphosis, Warbeast, the dogs are here. The Baja boys are saying, who let the dogs out? Kelfield catches 3 though, and that puts an end to that as Meraxis will get out of there, but a nice courier snipe is the cherry on top here for Complexity Gaming.
Yeah, it's really going to hurt VDT. They lost their free farming scout, you know, a little bit of greed, and then they lost a courier that's, I don't think, support. Okay, he did buy a new courier, but they don't have an upgrade. And, you know, that could have been something like a mana battery, a TP,
Absolutely.
you know, just... And extra gold. Who got the courier kill? Peter did.
Peter? Yeah.
All right. So that got him his boots. Not bad.
Yeah, boots and a mana battery and a TP and a ward now. So looking better here for Peter Pan Dam now that he is level 5. So starting to catch up. And B-Kid, his farm dropped a little bit right there, but of course getting some money for Moon and Trout certainly helps out.
But, you know, VDT, one of their flaws is probably, you know, being a little bit too aggressive at times, you know, not knowing when to back, and it was definitely shown there. You know, they got a nice free kill, you know, what's the saying, one and done, you know.
Top lane Bubbles actually in some trouble here. One and done possibly. Oh, Graveyard Stun not going to connect, but the Hex is more than enough, interrupting that TP, and Parasite gets there. Middle lane though, Empath maybe in some trouble. The ward is going to be used here, the wall, excuse me, but Empath still going to get run down by the Metamorphosis Warbeast, and down she goes. Meraxis going hard onto Peter Pan Dam, and Acid Bomb is there. Pandemonium is going to come in, has the flick here in 1 second. Oh, not going to dive. I'm going to pull that one short, so a 1-for-1 trade as both supports drop.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But the bubbles are dead top,
Yes.
so... Decent trade middle, though. I mean, nothing really is going to come out of this other than Zibby falling further and further behind in this 1v1 matchup. Like, there's no tower kill exchange, at least, for vdT. So, in that... But the golden XP has evened out. So now we're in a pretty even game at 12 minutes in.
Yeah, very even at this point. Pee-wee's still farming very well, 400 gold per minute along with V and Sensation, but there's a pretty stiff drop-off after those two top players here for VDT. Rax is not really finding much in the way of farm, just sitting on Steam Boots, investments, and a mana battery bottle. And he's probably going to start saving up for his portal key at this point, but he will find himself quite a ways off unless he can start to really get some good recovery or some hero kills. But Pee-wee going for that sustainer early. He just picked up a broadsword, I believe. Yeah, one broadsword picked up. So going the runed cleaver route, something we have not seen on a scout in quite some time.
Well, I mean, he's also playing a different role. You know, like usually scouts played as more of a ganker, but this scout's going to be their hard carry. He's going to be soaking up a lot of farm. So that's the reason behind that. You know, I'd like to see VDT block the Ancients with either a Scout Eye or with like a Sentry or... that because you know that's how Truffle's gonna get most of his farm by taking Ancients. He's not gonna be going to this top lane or the jungle.
Yeah, they have an electric eye over there, but not quite
Does
close
that block?
enough to block it. I am 99% sure it does not.
Okay. And we have Riser picking up his Codex, so if he can get a Wild Hunter, he might be able to get some nice pickoffs.
Yeah, he'll look for that one. Of course, squishy heroes like that scout. If you can catch him out of invis, that's an easy pickoff. Empath as well should be nice and free, or bubbles. So lots of ripe targets here for Parasite. He just needs to get that Wild Hunter, and look at that. He picks up his car. Vroom,
Well,
vroom.
he doesn't have the Codex yet. Yeah, he does if he splits up his face boots.
Oh,
but...
he needs to go to town first.
Mm-hmm.
Correct, correct.
Still looks like to be a free kill in this bubbles, maybe.
He's going to walk on up there, but wasn't quite able to find him. Zibby, a little bit too aware. He's got Steam Boots and Vestments himself now. And will head back up top. Parasite's still hanging out. And if Moon Meander can't get a Blink Hex off, this could be a dead turtle. Oh, they're definitely looking for this one right now. Incoming Blink Hex. Graveyard Stun to follow up with a face hug. And Moon Meander picks it up with the silver bullet. Not bad.
Ooh, and scout ported top. Oh, man, that's gotta hurt. Your free farmer just ported top for a tower you can't deny, and then he has nowhere to farm right now.
Yeah, he could farm that top lane, but showing that Witchslayer did have a brand new portal key, he doesn't want to get anywhere near that for fear of dying just before picking up a Runed Cleaver. He doesn't want to take any chances at this point. He just wants to get that Runed Axe and start farming.
And now Tralf is free to push this bottom tower for a little bit. Okay, and there's a port. It's probably the bubbles. Yeah, it's the bubbles.
And he will be able to anti-push this relatively well. So Port does get the deny on the tower up top, so Creep Wave just barely teched that down sub 130. And that Scout Eye did not block the Ancients.
And, you know, this game's turned out into a pretty passive game. You know, we got Peter stacking the Ancients. The next important steps of this game will be getting hero picks and potentially spawn blocking. Looking at those Ancients, if you can block the Ancients, that'll give your team a pretty good advantage in terms of farming.
Yeah.
And it looks like... Oh, never mind. I thought VDT may be grouping up, but maybe not. Nope, they're just going to go back to farming. But now that Scout has his Rune Cleaver, you'd like him to get the jungle. You know, you'd like the Tempest to make space on other parts of the map so he can farm the lane and the jungle.
Yeah, maybe sending that Tempest up into the top lane there. But with nothing like a portal key to get him out of any sticky situations, he will be kind of scared up there. Actually going to grab a haste at the bottom rune, though. Rax is still looking for that portal key himself. He's about 1,000 gold off. He's been trying to farm up this middle lane, but B-Kid is very well protected. And he's not really afraid of anything. Has that Blessed Orb, and I think he's only about a little over 1,000 away from finishing up a Nullstone here very quick.
Yeah, VDT really have to watch their positioning. You know, Moon has the portal key. They don't really have any counter. They have Bubbles counter initiation right now, but it's not really fast enough. You know, they need the blink daggers, the instant reaction with the Witchslayer initiation. And we have they counter ordered the bottom. They got the scout eye. They're gonna try to kill the scout, but Pewee playing very smart. He's not taking any risks here, just farming the jungle, farming the other lanes.
They're definitely losing this farming war, though. And they're getting farm on the heroes that they need, but Mirax is still sitting at sub 250, whereas Pandemonium, Warbeast, Witchslayer, and Parasite are all over 300 for complexity, so spreading the wealth. And I really do like to see a more balanced farm team rather than a scout that's at 600 gold per minute when everybody else is at 250.
Well, you see this lane adjustment they put. So Bubbles is having a hard time farming the other sides of the map, but he should be fine in the middle lane. And now Miraxis should be able to farm bottom pretty safely. So I like this adjustment, but now it's action in the bottom lane.
There most certainly is. Empath going down after Witchslayer used the portal key and the silver bullet this time. Warbeast in trouble though. Quakesun is going to connect along with 3 Glacial Blasts. They have the Elemental Void, but they don't even need to use it. Trouf without mana for the Metamorphosis. It's a bad catch out. Parasite here in the middle lane. They want Scout, but no vision on him.
Is he gonna go for the catapult? No, he's not. Okay. So Tempest got his portal key. That's gonna be a pretty nice pickup. They need the initiation, but he's not really running investments right now. I'd like to see him buy those as well.
Yeah, I'm sure that now that he does have 400 gold, probably going to be looking at investments in a TP here very soon. Pewee cleaning out the middle lane, though. Farming. And there's the Nullstone finished up on Panda. So B-Kid going the Flurry heavy build, the farming-oriented build. And that Nullstone definitely going to be great for something like the Glacial Blasts. Of course, maybe even the Marksman Shot or the Essence Link. One of those going to be deflected.
It's pretty good for dodging the Marksman Shot, but is it really worth it? I mean, I guess he needs the farming tool, right? So, you know, it's probably worth it.
Yeah, the farming tool is going to be great. And then even in the late game, this is going to help him out against the
Scout?
Stick.
Okay, he's fine. Okay. That was getting a little scary.
Yeah, he's got vision. Plenty of vision, though. Very, very smart electric eyes here from Pewee, making sure to scout out the various paths to those Ancients. So he takes a couple, but will go ahead and back on up. And Pewee, so far, 1-1-3 in this game, has done a great job of avoiding action and still finding that farm.
We have Pewee at the moment is trying to create space for his team or scout him out. You know, they want to get some pickoffs.
Yeah, he's trying to find Riser, but Riser was very quick to hop out of that skeleton and into a Wild Hunter and immediately activate the Invis. So Riser looking for a pick. Both of these teams really just deflecting the other's aggression. They're both looking for picks, but nobody's getting caught.
I mean, that still does favor VDT, though. They do have the better late game with the Scout and the Tempest support. So as long as they're not dying, they're content probably, but they would like to come out further ahead if possible.
Oh, they want to go on this Parasite up top. Minotaur is going to get blocked in here. The Scout silence is there, but the Minotaur stun does hit Scout.
This is really deep. Yeah, they have to get out.
Good call from VDT to actually fall back there.
They could. Someone has to defend this bottom tower. They have to either go hard top or they're probably just going to push this tower, then use the glyph and port back bottom.
Glyph is going to be popped here. 4 players from Complexity going to retreat. They're just going to let this tower drop. Trading the tower, but 4 players pushing top versus the 1 bottom. Complexity still soaking up this jungle farm. Maybe you could say getting the better end of this.
Yeah, they did. You know, they were farming. They exchanged towers. So, yeah, they came out ahead a little bit.
And they have full vision right here. Everybody just walked by the Ward of Sight and Ward of Revelation. And Scout will quickly see, hey, there's no farm here. He's a little bit sad about that. He'll instead clean up the middle wave before probably TPing bottom to clean up a very large wave down there. Miraxis has the portal key available to himself now. And Scout TP? Yes, there it is. Gets canceled, actually.
Ancients, I suppose?
Yeah, he wants the Ancients, and now Miraxis will TP bottom. So losing out on a couple creep kills right there.
I mean, it makes more sense. This is better for the team. You know, this is easier to farm for Scout than it is for the Meraxis.
Yeah, absolutely, with that Rune Cleaver, and does have the money for an Abyssal Skull now if he does want to go for something like that.
And Zibby's gonna get the portal key, so even though he's died a couple times, he's still finding the necessary farm to have an impact in the game.
3 portal keys. I mean, that's pretty significant here, 22 minutes in.
And Scout's nearing on 4,000 gold, so if he might get the Shrunken Head if he wants to.
Oh, absolutely, and against a hero like Witch Slayer and Parasite, definitely an item that you will be looking for on Scout pretty early on in your build.
And once he gets that Shrunken Head, it should be pretty impervious to anything but War Beast. And like
Panda.
if he's really smart with the Scout Eyes, and like he could just nullify a whole Panda ultimate, you know?
Yeah, similar to that Tempest ultimate, of course, being able to trigger it while you're already locked down, and that going through Shrunken Head can do a pretty serious amount of work. But Panda, something like that Cannonball into Flurry, when you're this squishy on Scout, even once he gets a Shrunken Head, he's still going to be sub 1,300 life.
Is he going Nullstone, or he just picked up
the Blessed
Oh, he
Orb.
sold it? Okay, yeah.
Now,
I think he really has to go with the Shrunken Head.
Something that we've seen from Pee-wee before, when he is very big on Scout, he likes to go Sheepstick.
Really?
Yes, he goes...
I mean, I'm not knocking that later on, but I don't like it early on. Because then Complexity could just force fights and focus him. But he does get the Shrunken Head, so that means VDT is capable of fighting right now if they want to.
Yeah, I would very much so expect them to at least try to force down this middle tower and then maybe clear out their opponent's Ancients. But Triumph, as usual, is hanging out over here at the Ancients, working on that Shrunken Head. He does actually have that finished with another 1,000 gold. Moonmeander just picked up a Sackstone and a Bound Eye, so once again, planned Minesweeper, as I like to call it.
Yeah, the Sackstone is a pretty good pickup. You know, it's good for the team. They need the armor for the Scout. He's going to do a lot of damage. But, you know what, it's been like it's been quite a while without a kill, and the stats really haven't changed. Pretty even game we got going so far.
Yeah, absolutely. We're only looking at about... check
Orizer might be looking for a kill. He just got on a Wild Hunter.
Does walk right by an Electric Eye, though. Will break the invis to kill the Electric Eye, while Pee-wee's just going to continue to steal the opposing team's jungle. This is the strength of Scout and all these invis heroes, like a Keeper of the Forest. When you're just stealing the opponent's jungle, that's a huge deal.
I mean, yeah, it is a big deal, but I'm pretty sure Complexity has also been farming on their side of the map. You know, it's not like like the golden experience isn't dipping inside their favor.
Well, at this point, they are looking to force something. They walk right by a Ward of Sight, though, once more. And unfortunately, Support's Ward is just a couple hundred units off right there. So wasn't able to pick up on Peter Pan Dam's Ward of Sight. 5 players, middle for Complexity. A Hellhound going to come up here and Scout. Immediately turned into some Elementals by Tempest.
Do they know about the Bondi on Moon? Have they seen it?
Yeah, they have. Moon used it to kill a Scout Eye.
So that's going to require Pee-wee to play a lot more reserved in the fights. He's going to have to pop the Shrunken Head pretty early, you know, so it's going to only be about active for 8 seconds when he's actually inside the fight.
Yeah, so he's going to have to get a lot of work done there very, very quickly. And Scout is going to drop an Electric Eye. Bound Eye use is going off. Moon sees the Ward of Revelation here and wants to kill it. The Hellhound is scouting and will spot Meraxis and Empath being a little bit secluded from the rest of the team. This is a very, very cat and mouse game of posturing at this point.
Yeah, both teams want to fight, I feel, but they want to take the right fight. You don't want to take the wrong fight. You have to choose your battles very smartly, especially in a game like this where it's so even. One fight could just turn everything upside down.
Oh, absolutely. And definitely looking for some of the bigger item pickups as well. Pandemonium will have a Shrunken Head here in 600 gold. So I think that he might be looking to finish that one up. Scout could finish the Abyssal Skull in, well, right now, if he wanted to. But probably saving up for a buyback at this point, considering that they might be going into a fight real quick here. But
Beef, do you feel like Complexity have like a window they have to win this game and then it's like over? Because, I mean, they are facing the Scout Empath. You know, it's a very strong late game. And they do have the Tempest Ultimate, so how are you feeling as this game contends into the late game?
yeah, I absolutely feel that they have some kind of a window. Oh, two players trying to go on each other. Zergo gets the worst end of that one. Kelfield onto 3. Meraxis is down. Witchslayer is going to get the defensive master's call. Elemental Void onto 2 right here. Pandemonium is going to try to go for an interrupt, and yes, it will get interrupted. Scout in the Shrunken Head, gonna go down. Empath annihilated by the Fury as well. And a genocide for Complexity just like that. A 5-for-1 trade. And
wow. I don't even know what happened.
I don't know either. I mean, Moon and Zergo tried to go on one another, and they both missed their spells, but Zergo dove into the enemy team, whereas Moon kind of dove into the river. And Zergo got locked down. Pandemonium just came in with a beautiful cannonball after the Tempest interrupt, and Complexity Gaming's 9,000, 8,000 ahead.
Oh, that's so game-changing. It's going to be 10,000 now once with this Ancient Steel.
Bound Eyes on the ground as well down here. They're going to need to recover that at some point at least, but... whew.
And now, because of that fight, that's pretty much a free Kongor whenever they want it. I like that they took the tower and the Ancients instead. You know, once you're ahead, you can take Kongor, but the towers are a little bit more difficult to take.
Yeah, definitely going to be an uphill fight here for VDT now. They still have strong farm on Tempest and on Scout. Did you see how that Tempest Elemental Void was actually interrupted? I didn't catch that.
I didn't see it either. It just, maybe he canceled it, but I didn't quite see it.
I mean, Witchslayer was already dead at that point, and it had Warbeast and... it had Warbeast and somebody else inside of it. It might have been Parasite that might have gotten a face hug off, so that's a possibility, but I didn't quite catch it. Pretty chaotic, but at this point, Complexity, with that very, very big lead, they'll go back to farming, finish up their next wave of big items. In this case, a Soul's Bulwark just picked up by Warbeast. He'll go for the Demonic Breastplate next. Shrunken Head picked up by Pandemonium. What do you anticipate seeing next out of B-Kid?
I mean, he does need a damage item, so he's not going to go with Demonic because of Warbeast. I don't really even...
Shieldbreaker, Insanitarius, Heart.
I don't really know what Beakid likes to build on this hero, especially with the Warbeast on his team. I guess I'll call maybe a Heart or Insanitarius.
I've seen him go a Dawnbringer before, but I don't
I
think
could
he's
see
going
that.
to go Dawnbringer since he already has a Nullstone.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, difficult to say indeed. Oh, he actually probably will go for a Portal Key. This is
Oh,
he
yeah,
does like Portal Key.
he would have already bought it though.
Possible. Well, we'll see. Keep an eye on that one. Oh man, at this point though, Complexity starting to drop some more aggressive wards, and you can see just by Moon's positioning, he's really, really anxious to actually bust open the enemy team's jungle and try to start stealing all of this farm for himself. Which Parasite looking for
I think they should be doing Kongor right now. Like, they have a huge lead. You know, they just counter warded that area. It's pretty good timing, but they decided not to go for it. They want to get some kills. They have an Invis on Parasite, and Moon is not staying pretty close. Charles at the moment pulling 3,000 gold, nearing on the Demonic Breastplate. Or you could go something like Puzzle Box if they want some more counter vision for Scout. But
yeah, 200 gold to Demonic if he doesn't want that. I think that's what he'll finish up. And Heart, going to be on the way here for Pandemonium.
And now they're going to do the Kongor. It should be free. VDT really should just try to defend in base, get as much farm as you can, get the Shrunken Head on Tempest, and then hope to win a fight at the base.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Their turtle power is what they're going to need to rely on right now, and then hope that Complexity kind of has a problem breaking open the base, which Complexity has had issues with before.
I mean, vdT's heroes are still pretty scary. Like when Empath gets inside Scout, he'll be at what? Is it 249 damage? Is it 20 or 40 at level 1? 40, okay. So Scout will be at 269 damage, so that's pretty good with even more additional attack speed. So if they can get a good Tempest ultimate, they can still win a fight even 12k gold behind.
Oh, absolutely. And that Tempest ultimate is going to be available. He's going to have a Shrunken Head here and another 200 gold. So it's going to be down to pretty much this Parasite to get the interrupt. Could go for a long-range Cannonball and Pandemonium to interrupt it as well. Or maybe a perfect position Brutalizer hit or something from Warbeast. Something along those lines. But going to make it a lot harder when they do have that Shrunken Head up. Certainly not going to allow Witchslayer or Master of Arms to go for the interrupts anymore. And Bubbles is getting caught out in the bottom lane. Parasite wants to go for this kill and will find it. He's going to TP on out. And Riser will jet on out of there. So a quick one and done in the bottom lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, Zibby made it actually a little bit harder for his team to get a counter kill on Riser by the way he push booked, but you know, he was just trying to live. And they might go on Panda in the middle. No, they won't. No, okay.
I'm gonna force him out at least, make him feel pressured, and he will back off.
Wait, did they really give Trouf the token?
It certainly looks like they did.
I mean, I guess he can just hit the buildings, which is fine. It's just traditionally you don't really want token on Warbeast. It's just a little awkward with how your ultimate works.
Well, I mean, he is level 16 now, so the ultimate is a relatively short cooldown. And
I mean, yeah, it can work. It's just a little awkward, you know. It feels. It's just not what you want, at least from my opinion.
Yeah. Normally on Pandemonium would be the more conventional choice, but the Demonic was finished up here on Trouf. B-Kid going to be clearing out the creep wave up top, and this should be a free tower for Complexity. vdT is making motions to actually try to defend this, but I don't.
Yeah, I really don't think they should be here. They should be farming the map, trying to get at the tier 2 bottom or the tier 1 middle.
And there's the heart picked up by B-Kid. The recipe at least just purchased. Yeah, and he does have the beast heart. So Behemoth's heart on the way. 3,000 HP Pandemonium. Wow.
Yeah, he's gonna be very difficult to take down. They're gonna need a meteor plus stun to kill him, most likely.
Yeah, absolutely. Shrunken Head just picked up on Tempest now. Still no investments on him. I'd like to see those picked up at some point here. And Scout is pulling up 2,600 gold after Blessed Orb, so could be about 900 gold away from a Sheepstick if that's the route he wants to go. You said you didn't mind it in the super late game. Oh, middle. Almost getting a pick off onto Meraxis, but Parasite will have to fall back.
I don't like it at this game. I don't like the Sheepstick on Scout this game because I can understand like in a different game, you know, where there's like squishy heroes, you can lock them down and just kill them real fast. But when you're dealing with a Panda who's building super tanky and you got a War Beast with a token, like I don't think you're gonna kill them fast enough to actually utilize it. It's probably just gonna be a null stone or maybe saving for buyback.
That's a possibility. But lots and lots of stuff being used by that Blessed Orb. Orbe's taking a considerable amount of pressure as they're working on this tower. Pandemonium is going to come on in here. Empath gets inside his Scout, but the tower goes down, and Complexity, knowing that that Empath cooldown is now wasted, they're going to just back up for 25 seconds.
Yeah, Empath's going to be kind of not as effective in the upcoming fight. He's going to have a wall, and maybe that'll make a big deal, but without that ultimate, they're going to be lacking quite a bit of damage that they could have had.
Yeah, if they had the Empath at for 275 damage inside a Scout, instead going to lose that 40 damage. And in comes Complexity. Well timed. As soon as Empath is gone, she does have that cooldown back up in another minute here, but I don't think Complexity Gaming is going to give them the time to go for that once more.
They need to pop Panda's Nullstone so Scout can ulti him, and it does a significant amount of his life. They should get the Drain on him or the Tempest Stun. They need to harass them away from the racks. They need to delay. They don't really want to fight this.
They absolutely don't, but one of the issues is Panda has 33 life regen per second. The rack's going to take a pretty healthy amount of pressure here. Scout going to open up on the Wolves as the flurry is going to be used. Quake is going to be used in the background here. They want Riser. Cannonball going to be going out onto Scout into the face smash, and Scout will likely go down. No, Scout's going to be able to get out of there. The Elemental Void was interrupted. Scout still running for his life, trying to make it into the well, and Warbeast not going to go for the dive. Down goes Bubbles, though. Witchslayer going to get the Graveyard Sun onto Meraxis to finish him off. Empath is dead. Buyback on Bubbles. Melee Rax is going to drop. 5 players still up here from Complexity Gaming. Silence onto 4. Shell Surf on back. And Bubbles is still not really able to do anything. Hex going to be coming in onto Scout. The push stick backward, but Scout gets Codex and goes down. A quad kill coming out so far for Riser. He has the opportunity to make it an annihilation as there are buybacks galore. The Legion side does not want to give this one up, but GG, well played are called. And just like that, 15 minutes ago, we had a completely even game, Riser. Complexity Gaming took an advantage and they never let up. Sender.
Okay, Beef.
Wow. Sender,
yeah, I mean, just like one.
Yeah,
it's whatever. But you know, one misplay in the middle lane, you know, it's just totally spiraled the game out of control for vdT to handle, and then Complexity came out on top.
Looking pretty good there for the beginning, but that one team fight, like you said, it started that out of control spiral. Weren't able to get the engines kicked back on, and although we said that Complexity kind of had a timetable there, they were able to hit that timetable and able to take that game. So not bad, not bad. All right, guys. We are going to be going into our next game here in about 25 minutes. If we actually take a look at the schedule way up here, our next game is going to be ITS versus Myth S2Y. Once again, that one's coming up in 25 minutes, our 4th group stage match of the day. This, of course, does put Complexity Gaming up to 2-0, tied up now with Stay Green International and Stay Green EU for those first place spots. So very well played by them. But Sender, you have anything to say to the fans out there, your adoring and numerous fans, before we do kick this over to a quick break?
Just shout out to the fans who support me. Even shout out to the haters. You know, you got, at least that means they care about you somewhat. You know, and then lastly, shout out to the island. You know who you are.
All right, always got to give the shout out to the island. You're gonna have to explain that to me one day, man, because I don't even know how many times I've cast with you at this point. I still have no clue what the island is about. But all right, guys, we are going to go ahead and take that quick break then, and we're going to get some videos playing for you guys, some instant recaps courtesy of RAR. Going to take a look at those, and of course some other cool videos courtesy of the Han community. So don't go anywhere. This is coLcast coverage of Dreamhack Summer 2013 with Beef and Sender. We'll be back.